Hello and welcome back. In yesterday's video, I talked about 5 tips that you can use to dominate the TOEFL test during your study time before you actually go in and take the test. Now, in this video, I'm going to continue this series by sharing several other strategies that are specifically designed to help you during the test to enhance your chances of getting your best score. So let's dive right in and take a look at what we can do to help us on that all-important testing day. So the first tip is to take notes on the exam. So on the actual test, you will be allowed to take detailed notes on each section. You will be given several pages of blank paper that you can use to take notes to assist you. Now, although you're allowed to take notes for all the sections, I usually advise that you don't need them for the reading section, as the passages you'll be reading will be on the screen while you take the exam, so it's not entirely necessary to take notes during the reading section. However, you may find that taking notes is very important for sections like the listening section, where the key information is being presented to you very rapidly and you don't always have time to remember everything that's being said. So in these situations, it's a good idea to take notes to help you remember key words and vocabulary that are going to help you with the answers later on. So make sure that your notes are easy to read and remember, but don't try to be overly detailed, as this can distract you from the key words and information that's being presented. So instead, you're going to want to try to use more shorthand notes, such as using things like symbols and abbreviations to your words to help you remember them. This will help you save time on the taking of the notes so that you can focus more of your attention on the actual information being presented. Also, try to write in English if possible. Writing things down in English goes a long way in helping you to remember the vocabulary and the meanings of the words and sentences. So the second tip is to stay calm when reading technical articles. So if there's one aspect that I've seen from my clients over and over again throughout the years that I've been teaching this, it's the fear that they will encounter a reading article or a writing question that is overly technical in nature. And this can be problematic, especially if you're unfamiliar with a lot of the scientific and technical vocabulary. However, if you remember back from yesterday's video, I did mention that it is a good idea to study that technical vocabulary before you take the exam so that you're familiar with a lot of the topics that may be presented on the test. It's also important to remember that many of the articles and questions are in fact supposed to be unfamiliar. The reason why this is done is to see how well you can handle the difficult, complex information that you will often encounter in a college or university or graduate classroom. So keep that in mind as you are reading through that it's supposed to be a little bit challenging, it's supposed to be difficult, but don't let that discourage you. If you study hard, you definitely will be prepared for that eventuality. So how can we deal with all of these complications when we're actually taking the test? So we know that we need to study for these things, but what if on the test you just blank and there's nothing you can do? Everything that you've studied, it just feels like it hasn't prepared you at all for this. What can you do in that situation to help save yourself? Well, one technique that I feel has been very successful for my clients is to use what I call filling in the blanks. Now, when you're reading through an article and you come across a word that you're very unfamiliar with, it's best to look at the words and sentences that are surrounding the unknown word. And if you can understand the general gist of that sentence or that paragraph that's surrounding the unknown word, you can do well to take your best guess, take an educated guess about what the meaning of the unknown word is. Also, by making sure that we understand the overall meanings of the sentences and paragraphs, we don't have to stress out so much if we have an unknown word here or there that we've never seen before. So that's another great strategy that you can use on test day to help you feel a little less stressed out. Another tip that I'd like to mention is to use outlines and graphic organizers to help you plan your writing responses. So one of the biggest areas of improvement for many of my clients and students is their writing. Oftentimes, people feel the need to rush through the writing section of the TOEFL because they're afraid that they're going to lose too much time if they have to answer a long and complex question, and they feel that they may run out of time if they spend too much time thinking about what to write. And one of the best ways to combat this and to remain calm for the writing section is to actually take several minutes to organize your thoughts and ideas before you actually write your final answer. Now, this may seem a little bit counterintuitive at first, as you might not want to take extra time out to organize your thoughts and organize a graphic organizer because you feel like you may be taking up too much time. But in actuality, in the long run, you're actually saving time. Now, why is this? This is because when you have your thoughts neatly organized, you're less prone to taking long pauses while you're writing to think about what you're going to say next, and your overall writing pace is going to be smoother and faster. And as a result, you end up saving more time than you would if you just started writing without any prior organization or graphic organizer to help you. So I hope that you found these tips helpful, and remember to utilize them during the test in order to optimize your chances of getting that best score. Now, it can be difficult to remember to do all of these when you're actually in the heat of the moment taking the exam, and stress levels usually run exceptionally high, and we can easily forget things. So this is also why it's a good idea to practice using these strategies when you're taking the practice test, which I talked about yesterday, prior to your test day, so that your mind is able to familiarize yourself with using these strategies before you actually step into the testing center. Again, I hope you found these tips helpful for you, and good luck, and we'll see you in the next video. Okay, take care.